Got Melissa Irvin with me, and she's with Regions Bank, and she's a loan officer, and I thought you might want to know a little bit about the process of getting a loan and getting prepared before you go purchase a house or even look at houses. So one of the problems that we see a lot is that people say, Debbie, I want to go look at a house, and then I'll say, well, you know what price house do you want, and that you can pay for, and they have no idea. So first thing we do is send them to someone, to talk to someone, and they get a pre-approval letter. And that way we know that they can purchase and people aren't cleaning up their homes for nothing. It's not good to look at $100,000 homes or $200,000 homes and you can afford a $50,000 home. It's hard to please you after that. So we want you to be in the right price range. And Melissa is one of the people we send folks to that because we know she's experienced. She's my personal banker. She's helped me with my home loan and all. And Melissa, what you got to say about for people just applying for loans?
Well, just that the pre-approval process is very easy. All you need to do is call me and we can do it over the phone. The initial pre-approval, my cell phone number is 335-6415. All the information you need is your name, address, social security number, and your employment information. 2-year employment history would be good. And I can do that within just a few minutes and issue a pre-approval letter to give to your realtor, Debbie or whoever, and so that they know that you can actually buy a house. And then once you find a house, the process is pretty simple. All you do is bring the information that we need, which is basically 2 years W-2s, a pay stub, your last 2 years, 2 months bank statements, and from there we will do your application papers and get your loan started. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty much an easy process, and it's you have a lot more selling or buying opportunities if you're pre-approved because the seller knows that you can purchase a house. So it makes it a little bit better with everybody involved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not only we know your price range, we can show you all the houses in your price range, and we can email them to you actually too. Mm-hmm. So you can have them come to you automatically when they get on the market, and then you just pick up the phone, give me a call, mm-hmm. and we'll go.
And there are several loan products. One of our most best, the one that we use a lot for first-time home buyers is we have a 100% loan that has no PMI. So I don't know if you're familiar with PMI, but what PMI is it's a premium you pay if you don't put down 20% of the purchase price. Mm-hmm. So if you have a 100% loan, that's an excellent product, and you don't have the PMI, so it's a great way to get into a house. And the most important thing probably in pre-qualifying is your credit score. So you need to do a pre-qualification to see what your credit score is. If it's not where it needs to be, I have a program I can do that I can see what will increase your credit score and give you some advice on how to get your credit score increased. Also, for a first-time home buyer, if you don't have a credit score and you have non-traditional credit, such as you can have rent, utilities, cable, phone, insurance, even a gym membership will help you get a house. Mm-hmm. So there are lots of ways to get into your first house, and a lot of times your payment is going to be less than what you're paying in rent. So it's a great time. Rates are really good, and it's a great time to get into the market.
Yeah, Lisa, I've got a question on that 100% loan. Mm-hmm. Is it just for rural properties, or is it for anywhere?
No, it's for anywhere. The basic requirements are you have to have a 680 credit score, or you can have the non-traditional credit. You have to have 4 lines that you paid on for 12 months, such as your rent, utilities, that type of thing. And it's income related. Your income can't be more than $46,800. But the good thing about that is, unlike some loan products, it can be just the male or just the female, and it can just count your base salary if you can qualify without overtime. So it's very flexible. And then there also are areas that you can do this loan in that are low to moderate income areas that it doesn't matter what your income is. And there's some of those like in Florence, I believe some in Sheffield too. So it's a very good loan product.
Well, that's great. And I just can't tell you how invaluable that is, because if I'm taking you to look at houses that aren't in your price range, you may can afford more than you think you can, or you need to go a little less.
Yes, most people can afford more than they want to have, because a lot of times I'll tell people what they can qualify for, and they're like, I don't want to spend that much money.
Yeah.
So it really is a good thing to get pre-approved so that you know what you can do.
And what your payments are going to be.
Right.
So you can work it into your budget. So it's invaluable information. It's worth your time to at least give someone a call and find out where you stand and what kind of price range you'd be in, and then you can make that decision.
And it's very easy. Like I said, you can do it over the telephone. You don't have to make an appointment. You don't have to come in. You can just call and do that.
Yeah, and what's your number again?
335-6415 is my cell phone, and you can call that anytime.
Okay. And let's go over again exactly what they need to bring in, like 2 years of W-2 forms, right?
Unless they're self-employed. If they're self-employed, they'll need 2 years of tax returns also. And then at least their latest pay stub. Some products do require 30 days of pay stub, so you know, if you have 30 days, that's great. Your last 2 months bank statements. And then
do they need tax returns or anything like that?
For some products, you know, just depending on if they're self-employed.
Yeah.
Most of the time the W-2s are sufficient.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can they ever get a gift?
Oh, sure. For most all products now, you can have a gift. It used to be for a conventional loan with 5% down, you couldn't have a gift, but now you can. So you can have a gift. For example, on the 100% loan, the seller can pay 4% of the loan amount. If you were buying a 100% loan, they could pay up to $4,000 closing costs if that's negotiated in the sales contract. The only thing you're required to do is have a $500 investment. So even if you don't have $500, that can be a gift. Then the next thing would be an FHA loan, which that's a good product because it allows your debt ratio to go up to 50% if your credit score is over 640. So that really helps a lot of people, and it requires a 3.5% down payment. That can be a gift. So and on FHA, the seller can pay 6%. So if you had a $50,000 house, you know, a lower priced house, they could still pay $3,000 in closing costs.
So instead of say $50,000, we'd make the contract for $53,000 with the seller paying $3,000 in closing costs for the buyer. And of course, the seller has closing costs of their own. And so we always give you a net sheet. Melissa will, we do. So you'll know exactly how much money is expected of you, exactly how you're going to come out, and it's best to know that before you go to closing. So you'll know exactly what's going to happen. We take you through every step. You're not going to be confused. We're going to take care of you that way.
Right, and now with the new TRID guidelines, you will receive a closing disclosure at least 3 days before closing, and that's going to show you, give you time to review that, look at what you're going to need at closing. So it's a real good process.
It is. And now buyers and sellers don't go in together anymore. So that's something new. Used to everybody be around the table together, but now the TRID requirements are that we separate everybody. So I've had some folks be confused about that. So they couldn't believe it, but it's a privacy thing. So they're keeping everybody separate now. So you don't see what the seller gets. The seller doesn't know what the buyer's getting or
what
paying.
Rate they're paying or what your debts are, or, you know.
Yeah, it's totally privacy. But you're informed before you go to closing. You don't have to be confused or worried about what's going to happen. We all tell you what's going to happen, and you're fully informed, so you don't have to be worried about it at all.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to do business, and it's a great way for our customers to know what's happening and not be confused.
And Debbie mentioned rural housing. We do also have rural housing loans, which, you know, if your property is in a rural area, you can do a 100% loan too. And then we also offer VA loans. So those are good products also.
All right, well, we're ready for a break. and appreciate you, Melissa.
Sure,
It's
thank you.
educational. Hope you learned something today.
Yeah.